Welcome to the Gemini Connect mobile studio, also known as the Grand Cherokee Summit. Let us know if you'd like us to review this car in the comments below, and we'll do it on this channel.
So breaking news, the GoPro Display Mod is finally available. It's $79 and you can buy it on GoPro's site, and they're already shipping it. So this is a long-awaited release for those of us that bought the GoPro Hero 8 along with the Media Mod, and we've been waiting for that little piece to make our GoPros a full-fledged vlogging camera.
Yeah, which is very funny timing, because also in 2 days we're about to get the announcement for the Hero 9, and that looks quite interesting, especially when you do the math and see what it means for the future of the Hero 8 and the display mod.
So there have already been quite a few leaks about the Hero 9. So in this video, we're going to talk about some of those leaks and what that means for those of us who want to buy GoPros and vlog with them.
It looks like finally the GoPro will feature a forward-facing screen so that you can see what you're filming when you're pointing it at yourself.
Yes, and so that's why we're bringing into question this display mod, which we've really been waiting for. And that was supposed to be GoPro's first attempt at giving us a forward-facing screen. But now they're going to completely redesign the GoPro from the sound of it and actually give us that front-facing screen, which is great. But for those of us who did buy the Hero 8 and the Media Mod and all these other accessories, it kind of puts into question what happens to the Media Mod and the Display Mod and some of these other accessories.
Well, my guess is that the 8, which already was a total redesign, is gonna be like a little cul-de-sac, and the mods and all that stuff for it will also be kind of just for that model. And it looks like they're departing to a new direction, probably because of competition from DJI and Insta360 and so on. They are now just really going to give you the screen, and hopefully some way of plugging a microphone may stick with that nasty adapter. We'll see what the future of the media mode is. We don't know any of this yet, but it really does look like it makes the Hero 8 obsolete, because why would you spend all the money on mods and all that and make it bigger when you can buy Hero 9 in just a couple of weeks, and then you'll be able to see the screen.
Yeah, I added up the cost of buying all the extra mods, and so it's just over $200 to buy that light mod, the media mod itself, and also the display mod, on top of buying the GoPro camera. So that's a lot of money to spend on a camera. But speaking of redesigns, so the GoPro Hero 8 itself actually wasn't really redesigned, but this Hero 9 is going to be a major redesign because they're going to be getting a much bigger sensor finally.
Well, yeah, so the internals are getting changed, which is good, because I also think the processor is being changed. And this will give you much more power, and that opens the door for things like a 5K resolution, which they're talking about, which to me actually isn't as interesting as the byproduct of that, which means that if you can get 5K at a certain focal length, you can probably get 4K at a more close-up focal length. And that means in 4K, you'll be able to get a lot more of the so-called digital lenses, which brings GoPro yet another step closer to being the one camera you need on the field to make a movie. Because right now we vlog with a GoPro because it's wide and it gets us well filming ourselves, but once you turn it around, you actually can't zoom that far. And we, for especially zooming and the nice cinematic shots, are still using big mirrorless cameras. If we are to get a bigger sensor, a bigger focal length for 4K, then we're able to make much more media with this GoPro, and sometimes even leave the big cameras at home.
Yeah, so this is GoPro's first major redesign in I think 8 years. So this is a pretty big deal. And so finally we're going to go from getting 12 megapixels to I think over 20 megapixels in the camera. So that obviously means that the size of the GoPro is going to increase a little bit. And also the battery is going to be bigger. It's going to be I think 41% bigger or more powerful. And that's probably because it has to power a bigger camera. We won't necessarily be getting longer battery life, but we'll see how that plays out.
I hope that we are getting a better life out of the battery. But yeah, when you do the math, it's going to be a bigger camera with a bigger sensor, a bigger battery. It's going to cost more money. It's going to have more features and so on. So for the consumer, this looks like a very good release. The only people it really sucks for is those who bought the 8. Now, we're a review channel, so we justify buying it and we make the money back. But for people that are more so hobbyists, it's not really nice to release an 8 completely actually walk out of all the supposed innovation you put into that and just release the 9 that makes the 8 obsolete like a year later.
Yeah, so that's really disappointing for those of us that did buy the Hero 8. But from the sound of it, the Hero 8 didn't sell that well, is what I'm guessing. And even the media mod, it was so hard to get a hold of, and they were out of stock constantly. So I do feel like for GoPro, they kind of were like, this is such a relatively cheap camera compared to like a $2,000 camera that it probably wasn't a big deal for them to just discontinue some of these things. I do feel like the media mod is probably going to be discontinued after this because it's only going to fit the Hero 8. And I do think also that GoPro had a lot of pressure from the Osmo Action because they're kind of ripping off that front-facing screen in some ways, even though the Hero Max did have a front-facing screen as well. But I do think that, initially they're probably going to stick with this media mod, but then the Osmo Action came out and really pushed them to go forward. But that also brings into question, we really hope that this is not a rushed release because GoPro does have its fair share of bugs still.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like, I'll be completely happy with the 8 and not even need a 9 if they just fixed all the bugs. But knowing that they never go back and fix bugs, I can only hope that they fix some bugs in the 9, but also knowing that they're going to release a whole bunch more stuff like a processor, a sensor, blah, blah, blah. I actually think it's going to add bugs instead of fixing bugs. But let's hope that at least the super annoying bug where you won't turn on is gone, because no other camera does that. That's super embarrassing that GoPro does that. And if that alone is fixed, then the 9 is a win. But it also comes with many more things. So I think it will be a really big upgrade overall. For those who like to upgrade fast, this is a great one to buy. And they are talking about things like Hypersmooth 3 and
Time Warp 3.
Yeah, so this really means nothing when you say that little catchphrase, but it really makes me hope that overall it means better image quality, because I am a big fan of the improvement of the image quality that I've seen in the last 2 versions. From 6 to 7 it improved a lot, and from 7 to 8 especially it improved a lot. So if they build upon that by giving us overall a better image quality with a bigger sensor and everything, and a whole bunch more things like more megabits per second on the video recording and things like that, this will become a very, very solid camera.
And the other thing that we have a question of that I don't see leaked or talked about yet is, are we getting an audio jack built into the GoPro?
If I had to guess, I would say no.
Yeah, my guess is no, but we can always hope, right? Like that's the one thing that we really hope that is going to come.
Well, speaking of that, I saw that video by the Potato Jet channel, which we call Potato Head, and I think everyone else does. But he made a really interesting point that the GoPro jack being bigger, it actually produces much better sound than the little jack that the Insta camera gives you. And it makes me think that by omitting a jack, they actually make the camera a lot smaller. And if they were to give you a tiny jack in the same body, it would actually have a lot worse sound from the testing that he did on his channel. So I'm actually not super grieving about not having a jack if it means that when I do put together the rig, it's going to give me high quality sound.
And in case you don't know, you have to have an external audio adapter or external mic adapter to plug into the GoPro if you want to add an external microphone. And for GoPro, it's such a big adapter that I really hope that they do away with that, but who knows? Because I think you're right. I think the audio quality is a lot better than that of the Insta360 which we're still testing. We'll have lots of videos coming out comparing that camera to GoPro, so stay tuned for that because it's an interesting camera.
Yeah, it really
and does not have bugs. Has not bugged out a single time. So it's like, how is this camera so perfect? It turns on every single time, and GoPro, it fails like at least half the time.
Well, every camera turns on every time except GoPro.
That's true. That is true. GoPro, fix this, please.
Yes. So bugs aside, yes, fix them, but the release does look very strong. Yes, we're going to buy it ASAP. Yes, we're going to review it immediately as we buy it, and then you'll be able to see whether you should upgrade.
And we do have an order in for the GoPro Display Mod, so we will be talking about that and reviewing that, but, I don't know the future of that, so we'll see.
It's pretty dubious. All right, so these are the rumors as of right now. In 2 days, there will be actually an announcement, and we'll follow up on this and see whether there are any surprises or whether what we just said was confirmed and release another video then. Until then, Stay tuned to all the content we're releasing across 2 channels. We're very, very close to monetizing our new channel. And thank you for all the people who subscribed. If you haven't yet or don't know we have a channel, Gemini Discover on YouTube is our 2nd channel where we use all the cameras that we review here. All right, see you in a few days after the announcement.